During their attempt to try figure out what a woman is, because they're the ones always asking the fucking question, conservatives have recently taken a pivot to ask what it means to be a man. And hopefully by the end of this video, I'll know what a man is, so I can start being one. Because apparently, according to conservatives, I'm just a soy boy beta cuck. So hopefully by the end of this video, I will figure out how I can be a better man for myself, my family, for my God. Yes, let's jump right in, shall we?
I'm not into the blue-haired, painted nails, eyeliner-wearing type of guy. I've not really seen an unattractive conservative man, so dump your liberal boyfriend.
There definitely are some unattractive conservative men, but I agree with them that conservative men usually care more about their looks and their strength.
I'm not.
Bro, what does that mean though? What does that mean? It's sort of weird to be asked about liberal men just to turn around and immediately start thinking about conservative cock. Is that setting off anyone's red flags? Just me? Okay. I love how these conservative pick me women on TikTok, on shorts, on reels, anything that doesn't need any sort of critical thinking are just able to create a human being out of nothing to be angry at. Like, how many blue-haired men have I met in my lifetime? I've been living in a progressive state for the past 8 years. Blue-haired men. I know men who paint their nails because they're not afraid of stereotypical gender norms. Blue-haired men. Yeah, no. I mean, in terms of conservatives getting to experience the wide scope of the human race, they're running into trans people all the time, apparently. They're running into these blue-haired freaks, liberal freaks. I'd love to be where they are. Just point the way and I'll be there. That sounds like the type of crew I can get around. All right, on to the next pick me.
Who's more attractive, liberal men or conservative men?
Oh my God, is that even a question? I have never seen an attractive liberal man, and I think that's because they hate masculinity inherently. The 3 C's are Christian, conservative, cowboy, in that order. And if you do not fit inside the 3 C's, there's no need to have a conversation. Traditional, cowboy, rugged, hairy chest, boots, man, I'm in.
Some of the liberal men are actually women.
I have been informed of such.
Who's more attractive?
Yeah, that's a good one. You reckon he thought of that himself? Who's the leader of Texas? What's his name? Ted Cruz. Texas is, stereotypically a cowboyish state, right? Let's have a look at how the conservative leader Ted Cruz is built, shall we? Okay. Well, I'm not one to judge taste, because I have better things to do in my day than care about liberal men. But yeah. You do you, girl. Yeehaw. Let's see, actually, while we're here, let's see how Donald Trump is built, right? Because he says he's Catholic, right? He's conservative, definitely. We scroll, ooh, okay. Yeah, not the best physique, but who am I to judge? God, who else is there? Elon Musk. Elon Musk is a conservative leader, technically, on Twitter. Oh, right. Ooh. Yeah, I forgot I called him the shape of the submersible that imploded. Ooh. But hey, you do you, girl. Cowboy, Christian, conservative, yeehaw.
Any man that's working his ass off is probably conservative because he doesn't want to give all his tax money away. He doesn't want to hear about people crying because he's getting banged every day while he's winning. He's getting arrows put in his back. People are stabbing him in the back.
Pause. What the fuck? Conservative men are getting banged. The thing I'm noticing with a lot of conservative masculinity is that it's quite homoerotic. Is that just me? I mean, homoeroticism is a key tenet in any sort of fascism. We saw it with Mussolini. We're now seeing it again with Adolf on Twitter being thirsted over. There's a lot of homoeroticism with conservatism. Maybe I made the right call of not being a conservative. I don't know.
People are not paying them. Real men have real fucking problems. So they don't like it when people cry just to get extra when they've done all the damn work. Any man.
Conservative men have real fucking problems. That's why I'm in a suit on a fucking podcast, sucking Trump off until he fills me with his little yummies. Most conservative men that I've had to deal with are fucking idiots because they didn't attend university, they didn't attend college, they dropped out of high school. Sure, they're working class people, but fuck, they are the biggest victims of conservative agenda hegemony. And it shows that they have their grievances with trans people, with immigrants, fucking anything under the sun that Twitter tells them to be angry at. Conservative men have real real problems. Yeah, that random ass trans kid on Twitter that insulted Donald Trump, who they're now trying to dox. Yeah, right. Conservative men have real problems. Yeah, the fucking immigrants that apparently exist living off of the system. Ugh, whatever. Real men should be working the oil rig. They shouldn't be on a podcast in a blue suit. But hey, well, what do I know? I'm just a liberal beta male, I guess. What are the comments saying? Stop. Nobody likes this guy. I'm a 25-year-old man who does work hard. All Trump does is cry. The dude is a joke. I mean, any conservative who wants to talk about being a fucking manly man, have a look at Trump's Twitter. Have a look at Trump's Truth Social. Gavin Newsom started making fun of him for it. Started tweeting in all caps, and immediately they were like, "Oh, Gavin's a bit off kilter, isn't he? Look at where do you think he got it from?" God, conservative men are so fucking annoying. They're so dumb. They are so. I mean, I've heard they're fucking hung from the guy previously, but. I don't want to find that out for myself. All right, let's see what this let's see what this patriot has to say.
Why are Republican men better then?
Because they have testosterone and they're real men.
Right, okay. Oh, the testosterone. Fuck. Oh, I must have left mine at home or something. Shit, my testosterone. That's clearly not evident with the amount of facial hair I have or chest hair that I'm not going to show on camera. I will if you subscribe to my OnlyFans. Conservative men seem to like the looking at muscular, hairy men. Right, the testosterone. Right, which is why my hairline is crisp, right? Not receding, which is a common side effect of too much testosterone. So is every balding, receding, fat conservative just full of testosterone? Is that the excuse?
There's research showing that Republican men are they rate like 85% of them say that something.
Oh, fuck me. Spit it out. There's research. I'm convinced. There's research. I'm definitely going to trust a random research paper he's pulled out of his ass from a guy who's wearing an American flag blazer and Make America Great Again hat. Oh, suddenly they care about research. Suddenly they care. How about the research paper that the Trump administration recently pulled from the Department of Justice website, citing that indeed the most political violence has stemmed from right-wing aggression. Do they care about that research, or is it just research that they can make up saying that testosterone is a thing and yeah, they apparently have more of it? You tell me, guys.
Like 85% believe that they're masculine and alpha.
Yeah.
Democrats, it's like 15%. It's like they're all beta males.
That's the fucking research. More conservative men are cringy enough to call themselves alpha. Yeah, nah. Oh, why didn't I fucking think of that? So if I start calling myself alpha and I'm a liberal male, would I contribute to that paper? Is there a way to contribute? Does this paper exist? Someone tell me. I need to get on there. I need to be known as an alpha male. Oh, that's why. Oh, that's it. That's why conservatives always win. They're alphas and they say they're alphas. Fuck. Why didn't I think of that?
They're wimpy and poor Democrat women are stuck with these weird beta.
Poor Democrat women, degree havers, firstly. So statistically more rich than any working class Republican maybe. I'm just going by the studies. I mean, conservatives are suddenly all about the studies now, but mine's at least provable, I guess.
Beta males that have no masculinity. And it's a proven fact.
I don't know what.
It's a proven fact. Yeah, this dickhead said a whole lot of nothing. Anyway. Oh my god, now we're going to hear from Brett Cooper, who, by her own standards, because she looks like Ben Shapiro, should be considered a man because of her wide jawline, wider than mine, goddamn, and her ability to reflect her thoughts into words like a true man does, right?
The red pill man is playing his own role in this very, very complicated and convoluted dating landscape. And these men, in my opinion, view modern feminism as a societal evil whose express goal is to oppress men.
See, who actually gives a fuck about any of those words? None of those words were in the Bible. Why should I give a fuck about any of them? Conservatives are so caught up in issues created by people like Brett Cooper, using any fucking talking point she can pull out of her ass for what? Why are they so angry all the time about fucking nothing? Every day there's a new thing to be angry about. They call liberals snowflakes snowflakes? Are you kidding me? Spend a week on a YouTube account that's just subscribed to conservative men like Ben Shapiro, Michael Knowles, Matt Walsh, and you'll be thinking, what the fuck are they angry about? These beta male podcast bros, what are they so angry about? If they're angry being a conservative, don't be a conservative. Ask yourself why they're a conservative still. It's because they have a financial stake in keeping you angry, in keeping you distracted from the real problems. We haven't heard about the Epstein case since Charlie Kirk was put down, right? The day before Charlie Kirk died, there was a letter released from Democrats, a letter to a one Jeffrey Epstein from Donald Trump with the silhouette of a young girl. We haven't heard about that since then. We're conservatives now who backed Trump running on the premise that he would release the files, right? Where are they now? They're so caught up in their bullshit. It is so pathetic, and that's not what a man should be.
They believe that women hold unfair power in today's culture, which is definitely true in our modern culture, but they don't—
What? Like what? Like the ability to have a bank account and a job? Two things that Brett is now profiting off of? They're holding too much power in the sense that Brett has empowered herself from these conservative men being, you know, key jangled every couple days on a new issue that doesn't even fucking matter in the grand scheme of things. That's how women are profiting off of it, being a conservative podcaster.
They don't just stop with fighting that. They don't just stop by saying,
yeah, this is dog shit. I can't stand her.
He was like picking up his air filter and putting it back in the car and then going, have you ever heard about Project 2025? That wasn't masculine in the slightest. That man does jazz hands when he runs on the stage to speak at conventions.
Sorry, as if fucking, what's his dumbass name? Elon Musk wasn't dancing all over the stage when he won? Please tell me there's a fucking compilation.
So many different great things. Where is he? Come on up here, Elon. He created the first major American car company in generations, and his rocket company is the only reason we can now send American astronauts into space. Come here. Take over, Elon. Just take over.
Right. Okay. That's a real man, a fat conservative loser. Oh, there's one more. Wait for it. Yeah, that's a real man. Is this the same video where he does the Nazi salute?
Hey, thank you for making it happen. Thank you.
Is that a real man, Brett Cooper? We just moved on from this, didn't we? We moved on from this fucking idiot. Whatever. Next video.
I love young men. They're just not part of our coalition because they feel like they're not welcome.
Oh, wow. They feel like they're not welcomed in your coalition? Yeah. I'm sorry, you spent years calling them toxic and dangerous, saying that their masculinity was the worst thing to ever happen to society.
So is Brett's argument that young men aren't feeling welcome into the democratic movement because they're, you know, a little bit emotional for saying that their masculinity is a little bit toxic? Oh no. Are the young men getting a little emotional over the truth? Facts don't care about your feelings, boys. What are we doing? It's such a dumbass rebuttal anyway, to be like, they're not welcomed in the left. Like, yeah, they are. I know some people who've made the switch from conservative to more leftist, more liberal, I guess. And that's just come from realizing that conservatism stands for nothing, stands for distracting you, stands for being emotional about made up issues that you see on Twitter. And you can make the argument that conservative masculinity and Republican masculinity is about being a real man, but these real men are going into Target with their phone, filming, picking up t-shirts, being angry against Pride Month for whatever reason. I mean, I said it last week, to be a conservative is to be inconsequential. To be a conservative man is to be a fucking idiot. Is it worth watching the rest of this? I guess I'm here.
You crapped on them constantly from influencers and activists.
Barack Obama talks about toxic masculinity and being a man. Yeah, that's not crapping on all men, right? Toxic masculinity has found its way into conservative circles just by proxy. You know, they use bioessentialist talking points to own the feminists, when in actual fact, they're the ones being suckered into those talking points in the first place. They're the ones being angry at fucking nothing. You know how many raging feminists I've ran into in my time being on Earth in my 25 years? years? Fucking none. You know why? Because I'm not a conservative fucking loser. I value some elements of masculinity, and I can recognize that some other elements of masculinity are toxic. If you're a man and you can't differentiate between the two, then we don't want you. Stay a fucking idiot. Stay a conservative. Honestly.
To literal politicians just crapping on men. You made fun of their hobbies and sports, said that they were
just a little bit emotional. Poor guys. Aww.
Interestingly, a recent British study revealed that nearly 50% of young men reported feeling that being a man is not a source of pride for them, which...
Good. I'd say that's good. You know what the other 50% should do? Get a fucking personality. If being a man is your only social purpose, then you are a sucker. If you make that purpose known to people, that you're a man and that should be your only societal role, then you are a sucker and probably a conservative. It took me a while to get to a point where I was like, yeah, masculinity is kind of useless, you know? If you're genuinely a man who has no other shit going on in your life other than being a man, one, you probably voted for Trump, and two, you're probably a fucking loser.
Is just insane. And this is what some of the participants had to say. Quote, there are a lot of negative stories about how men are treated women, which makes people assume that all men are the same, which isn't the case.
We know it's the case, right? But it's these little niches of men that want to normalize the mistreating of women. We've seen through still continuing to platform people like Chris Brown, people like Conor McGregor, you know, the MMA fighter who raped a woman so hard that she had to get the tampon surgically removed out of her body. He's still going. He's still a celebrity. He's still appearing on TV. He was running for Irish presidency. I don't know how that turned out. He was given a speech at the White House. So no, it's not all men, but it will continue to be all men as long as these men, those men. So there are so many men in my head right now. Oh my God. It will continue to be all men for as long as men like these are platformed. You are sustaining your own system, right? You're a victim of the system that you are sustaining by not using any sort of critical thinking and being like, oh, maybe the not all men argument is not worth my time, right? You know why it's not worth my time? Because I have a fucking personality. I have hobbies to attend to. I'm not a fucking conservative loser. That's why.
Commented one 20-year-old. Another young man said, there is a feeling that men are responsible for patriarchy and you feel a sense of guilt. Although things were this way before I was born and in spite of personal effort for equality, these men are...
That's crazy. Like, dude, fucking patriarchy sucks, man. Shit, I just learned what that word means. Whilst not realizing that a talking point like that is why they are remaining victims of the patriarchy. They just can't verbalize it, right? They have all these expectations about what a man should be being fed to them through socialization, through the media, social media, all these videos that Brett Cooper is being paid to do. A conservative shill, failed actress, by the way. They have all these talking points about what a man should be, and that's it. They don't seek out anything. They don't sit with being uncomfortable with a thought, rationalizing that, verbalizing that, and seeking help. It's much more easy for a man to just be like, yeah, I'm a victim in this, and that's it.
Trying, they have they've tried to respond, and yet they still are made to feel so guilty and so out of place. Another one said, social media is damaging to men's mental health as a society. We have an expectation of what a man should be. This puts pressure on men to live up to this expectation. So in trying to connect this with current events, it's like, yeah, no wonder young men moved to the right. No wonder in 2024, young men came out in droves for Donald Trump and
Yeah, because conservatives are a lot more nefarious with their messaging about what it means to be a man. They give men very astute boxes that they're allowed to fit in. They give them very astute boxes as to what politics they should follow in order to be a man. They see that the conservative institution being like, this is what makes a man. They see the other side, the leftists, the liberals and progressives saying, you don't have to be masculine. Of course, they're going to be like, okay, the side that's giving me something to aim for in terms of being man, being masculine, I'm going to choose them because they don't know that being masculine doesn't have to be the only thing going for you. In fact, if it is the only thing going for you, it might not even be worth our time to put the effort in, right? I would much rather put more effort into someone, a man specifically, being more receptive to what I have to say than a fucking idiot conservative who gets all of his talking points from Twitter.